I would like to address our crime issue, um, which is part of their plan to control us. Because as long as we're devastating ourselves, we can never get ourselves united to be of any kind of factor in their lives. You know, so, and I want that. I want everybody to kind of sit back and think about that. If you want to keep something from ever accomplishing anything, you keep chaos in this life. And we, as Black America, we have plenty of chaos in our lives. You know, one, we're the biggest consumer group of this country. Think about that. We spend all of our fucking money on buying shit. And we're all guilty of it. All of us, you know? How many of us get paid? We go out and we get the things that we think we need to make it through the next week. You know? We all want to look good. We all want to dress good. That's how we have turned to giving value to ourselves. And that is on how much stuff we have. You know, what we've accumulated. You know, how nice our car is, how nice our house is, you know, how nice we dress, you know, so forth and so on. You know, how many different, you know, after school programs our kids are involved in. And, you know, we take them here and we do this and we do that. And we just show our offspring how to spin, how to spin, how to spin, how to spin. And this ain't something that's not unheard of from us. I mean, think about it. We all talk about our great grandmothers and grandfathers and stuff like that. But you know, these last 50, 60, 70 years, we've gone through a transition where we've totally left behind all of that. And we have now absorbed our culture and our morality into something that I believe is totally out of control. And it needs the reins pulled back on it. We are not them. We don't think like them. We don't approach things like them. And we can't solve our problems like them. Some of the problems we have that we need to solve. One, ain't no way in hell we should feel as if when we in our own neighborhoods, we have to be on our special guard. But we go out to these other neighborhoods and we drop all that guard.
Shit, you speak for yourself.
Shit, man,
It's
whatever.
just a matter of what you guard against. You know what I'm saying? I fear I go to a lot of white neighborhoods, small cities, small counties, and shit like that. Been doing it for years. I fear losing my freedom way more than I do out in them areas. Way more than I do walking down the street in the hood. I mean, it's about what threat you're looking at.
Well,
So I'm not looking at somebody pulling up next to me trying to blow my head off because they think my car nice when I'm in those areas. But there is another threat. There's something very simple that can happen that can take me away from my family for the next few years, and there ain't much I can do about it. You see what I'm saying? And it happens to people all the time, fucking around in them areas. You know, it's not a thing that doesn't happen. I bond a lot of them out sometimes. You know, it happens.
Well, let me ask you this then, because I agree it does happen. Is it always happening because of racial reasons? Uh, you remember back when I was doing GoPuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you know, I had that Escalade then, and I was doing that GoPuff shit with it, right? So anyway, you know what I'm saying? This is one of the nights it's delivered. It's about 10 something at night, and I'm riding through Oakwood. It's about 10:30, maybe close. It was late. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding.
Hold on, stop your story. Not everybody from our city.
I understand. Okay,
Look, let me give y'all a little quick scenario. Right, when he say Oakwood, you think of the uppity white area in your neighborhood. That's what Oakwood represents to us.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
yeah, the old money side. Think about your area that got the old money. And so anyway, I get pulled over. He says he pulls me over because my tail lights, there was that smoke, and he claims that they was too dark, right? I said, okay, you know what I'm saying? I said, okay, that's the reason, but you see they're not too dark, you know. How do you know? You know, you're just looking at them. So anyway, I said, man, the reason you pulled me over is because it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm riding around in this Escalade with these 22s on it.
You know, I got to throw a jab at you real quick, right?
What?
I know your old Republican ass ain't got no goddamn racial discrimination story for us.
No, I'm not.
No,
No,
I'm playing. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
it's
just
not a
talking
racial
shit.
discrimination
I'm talking
story.
shit.
What it is,
But you
you know,
do know that's a problem. I just want to say this real quick. That is a problem that we have with a lot of black Republicans out there, is that they hold on to them talking points and they deny this shit's happening too. Just like black folk
I'm not,
holding us
no.
deny
See,
shit.
you're not seeing where I'm going.
But I'm
I'm
gonna go
not.
ahead.
I'm
No,
not
I
denying.
know that was off topic. I just
But,
wanted to throw that
but
out there.
but what I'm saying is you know, I told him, I said, you know, you pulled me over, you know, because you know I look out of place, I'm black or whatever, and I said it's okay to admit that, because if I was out here spending 500,000, 1.3 million dollars, I want you to be pulling some motherfuckers over too. You know, is more of a it's a class it's a where you live thing. I mean, yes, is it wrong to just say, "Oh, okay, just because you're here, you must be, you know, doing something"? But is it wrong if you know that you live on a street and you know what's on your street and you see something out of place walking through it? Do you want your law enforcement to approach that individual, or do you want them to leave them alone?
Okay, I get what you're saying. However, this is where that coin flips, and this is why you have to understand why that coin flips. Yes, a person living in those type of neighborhoods might have reason to want to feel safe, secure, want that extra. Oh yeah, I want the police to be checking the niggas and the Mexicans and shit that's coming through this motherfucker. 'Cause, you
And
know,
the trashy white folks.
well, we know what they really mean, but we want them doing it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, fine and dandy. Except there's another side of that coin. In order to do so, you are asking your law enforcement paid by citizens to turn around and violate the civil rights of its same citizens.
No. Stop.
Stop. Let me say
It is
this.
not the same citizen.
Just because I do not live in your neighborhood does not make me any less American than you.
But just
Period.
because I
No,
do,
no, no. Period.
no,
It don't.
no,
It
it
don't.
doesn't. It doesn't make you less American. No. But what it does do is the people of that community also have a right to band together and have certain things, you know, the way that they want it, also to protect
They
their
can
rights.
hire if they want to spend their money to hire them some private security
They
to come
did.
into their neighborhood to do the
They
exact
did.
same thing that you're describing. Nobody has
They
a problem
did.
with that as long as that
It's called.
security
They
company.
did.
Hold on. As long
No,
as that
you're wrong.
security company. No, it's not. As long as that security company, because that security. Listen, the security company can be paid by that community to perform services directly for that community. You cannot put the police in that category because the police are paid by the citizenry, not that community,
No,
not that neighborhood.
mumbles.
You are paid by everybody who lives in this city.
No, you're not.
Everybody
No, you're not.
contributes to your pay.
No, you're not.
And more importantly, everybody is protected by the Constitution, and you are a agent of the Constitution of the
Mumbles.
law.
No,
Therefore,
no, no.
that's why there's a difference. You might not want to see that difference, but it's the difference. You can hire you a private security firm to do that stuff. Now it's on that private security firm to open itself up to lawsuits and stuff if it wants to start profiling and doing all this stuff and making people be like, hey man, they only attacking black folks or they're only doing this. That's up to that security company if they're gonna take that liability. Law enforcement does not have that right to make that decision. When they side on that, when they are doing that, it is against the law. Period.
Okay, can I have it
And
for a
we have
minute?
to call them out on it on
No,
every time.
no,
That's
no,
where I
stop.
agree.
Wait a
Hold
minute.
on.
Wait,
Let me just
no,
say,
'cause you're
let me
wrong.
just say, because I don't never give them no credit. That's where I agree with the left on some of its social issues when it comes to policing. Listen, we are going to stop having the police treat us as if we are second class different citizens when, goddamn it, I bust my ass every day and I pay my taxes. I'm helping to contribute to you every day, and you want to treat me as if I'm not, as if I'm one of these people walking over the border. Matter of fact, from what I'm hearing, some of them getting better treatment than what niggas has been here all their whole fucking generations and generations are getting. So miss me with that. Look, police need to do their job, period. And when they're doing stuff that is against the Constitution or they're doing stuff that's against the law, they should be held accountable to that. Period. Whether if it's racial profiling, whether if it's just going out killing them up, whatever it is, hell, drunk driving. Because every cop, damn near every cop is out there drunk driving. Because we have a big alcohol problem in the law enforcement community, and these motherfuckers drive still to get home. Hell, some of them on duty drunk as hell. But anyway, that's a different story. Like I said, nah, that don't fly with me, man. That neighborhood don't deserve no special treatment. You want that special treat, not from our law enforcement. You want that special treatment, you go pay for it.
I would say that they do pay for it. Just like
Oh,
just like here where I live, our property taxes for our community pays for our law enforcement here. Just like
okay.
in
But
just wait a minute. No, I don't know. No. Just like in Oakwood, their property taxes and their taxes pay for their law enforcement in their community. Just like the larger cities, Dayton, Detroit, their tax papers, their tax money pays for that. So yeah, of course they can't get out of pocket, but they also are there to protect the citizens of that community, not the one next to it, not the one beside it, not the one
and
behind it.
this is I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm disagreeing with you on what you are calling the community. You are calling a neighborhood
Yes,
the
the
community.
people who
That's
pay
not
the
the community.
taxes in that area.
That's not the community that's
No,
paying the taxes.
yes, it is.
That whole city is contributing to that
And if you're
officer's.
not a member of that
As,
city, what
as
are
a
you?
matter of fact, and it ain't even just the people living in that city. If I come into work into that city, I am helping to pay that man's tax or that
That's
man's
right. You
salary.
got a
If
reason to
I
be
come,
there.
if when I come through and I buy gas and I pay my gas tax, the portion of that gas tax that is going to that city official or to the city government is helping to pay that. So I don't want to give that. I don't care if
Let
you
me
can
ask you
afford a
this:
$500,000 house. You
if
are
a
no more
car
American than I am. Period.
if a car is riding through your neighborhood real slow and it's just sitting there and it's sitting there for about 2 days, you know, back and forth, coming back, looking real suspicious. You know what I'm saying? And you call up the police. Should they be able to come engage that car? It ain't broke no laws. It just looks suspicious.
That is the reason for the police to engage because they got a call. So when they get that call, they have to go and investigate the call.
Now, what about if he
That is
stumbles
different.
over this?
That is
What about if he
different.
stumbles over this himself?
Hold on. Let me at least finish my thought. That's different from the police sitting there and seeing the car go by and happening to get a clear view of the driver or the occupants and saying, "I want to pull them over because they don't belong here." It's not on you to make that determination. If I am suspected of a crime, do your job and engage me. If I am not suspected of a crime, if I have not done anything and nobody has called on me to even suggest anything I'm doing is suspicious, leave me a hell
So
alone.
so you so
Period.
so I could agree with that, especially when you're in the business areas or somewhere, or you know what I'm saying, populated areas, like I said, business areas, a zone for business for anyone. But when you get off into the neighborhoods, and let's say you see a car that's like 4, 5 deep, just kind of creeping around, and he comes across that, through your logic, he should just go on about his business.
As a law enforcement officer, you have several tools to your ability. So I mean, even if you want to make contact with someone, because as you're describing a suspicious situation, well, what makes it suspicious? The time of day. We don't usually have slow moving vehicles coming through the neighborhood acting like they don't know where they're going at 1 o'clock in the morning. It looks suspicious. Okay. The cop can engage them. Now, it's on what now. Theoretically, it is supposed to be on what that person is doing, what that person is about. When you pull me over, it is up to me to give you further reason to fuck with me or not. It is not your call as a cop. You're supposed to be a reactive. So if you pull me over and I'm not doing anything and I give you a decent enough explanation to why the hell I'm here anyway, and I'm not escalating this no further, the right thing for you to do is to tuck your tail, turn around, get in your cruiser, and leave me the fuck alone. Now, we have officers out here who are determined to make people criminals.
Right.
So I'm going to stay engaged in this encounter with you until either you show me signs of criminal behavior or I can convince you to do something criminal. And that's just wrong.
I don't disagree with none of that. Only thing that I, beg to differ a little is that I think if someone is paying to live in a community, they get a little special treatment.
They gotta pay for it.
They are paying
Your
for
your
it.
your your, your taxes are not going. Listen, one vote, or I'm sorry, one American, one vote.
Shit, my taxes is
Period.
paying for
Your
me to
your
have.
your it don't matter if you make Elon Musk money or if you make Uncle Jay money. You still only get one vote.
What's that got to do with anything?
One American, one vote. Period.
Shit, and
It
shit.
means that it means that as far as the things that are dealing with the law, we're talking about crime and the police right now. As far as things dealing with the law, your money is not supposed to make my encounter any less constitutional than my money. Period.
Then what's the purpose in having money
What you
if
mean,
you
what's the
ain't
purpose of
special?
having money?
Yeah,
You could be special without being special in the eyes of the law, nigga. You ain't nothing, nigga.
you got me
Lock
fucked
your
up.
ass up,
I got
nigga.
se-
See where your money
I
gets
got
you.
$72 million in the bank, nigga. Fuck that. Shit, I
Okay.
can do what the fuck I want to do.
Kanye had over 2 billion before he said the wrong thing. Listen, money don't mean nothing.
He still got the
The
life of
money
a two
don't
hundred
mean nothing
millionaire.
when it can be removed from you because you're not even the one in power taking it and making it like that.
Well,
Come on,
you
man.
can understand.
Let's not pretend.
Kanye's money was
Let's not
on paper too.
let's not pretend that everybody who's out here living the million dollar life is bosses, man. All right. Just because they got a little higher money don't mean they really in any different situation than some of us who's working these day-to-day lives, man. Other than they have a little bit more freedom to come and go as they please because they have the money to get them there as they need to go. You know what I mean? But
Everybody,
let's not act like they not subservient to bosses. Let's not make act like they ain't
everybody
got a
is
living to make.
subservient
Let's
to
not act like
someone.
all these things are not still prevalent. You know what I'm
They are
saying?
prevalent, but if you got a
But
little bit
I
more
am talking
paper,
specifically about the law and encountering with the police. Your money does not mean nothing in that situation. It's not supposed to. You are not supposed to be able to take this man's constitutional rights away just because he only makes $12,000 a year. That is the thing about America.
I agree. But
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm pointing out in this conversation about this. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
just know
it.
we gotta do something because this is getting. I mean, our it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It seems like the kind of stuff that's going on now has no purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kid crime. You know what I mean? It has no sense of reason, no purpose. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're our kids are spoiled. We've done a good job with that. We've given them so much they don't know what it's like not to have nothing. You know, which is a good thing, I guess.
We have, you know, I mean, look, right now we're dealing with a generation who grew up, like you said, spoiled in some ways, whatever. Also, we had a lot of problems because we know about the crack pandemic, and those are some of the adults that's running the world right.
Yeah, crack was
Look
a
at the
motherfucker.
generation that's coming up behind us. We got a generation coming up behind us, man. That's just like you said. I mean, before long, man. Look, you're not even gonna be able to call this shit crime. It's just life. Ain't gonna be able to call this shit crime. It's gonna be so normalized that it's just gonna be life. You know what I'm saying? We used to seeing motherfuckers murdered in the street. We used to seeing stores just hit up one day like, hey, 15 guys gonna go and just run in here and take everything. Fuck everybody gotta live around there and depend on that store. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying 15 guys could have went and put some money together and went and made a store to compete against that store. You know what I mean? And give the people more choice and option or something. We don't think like that.
Man. And that's I wish that wasn't so. I've been to other communities. I've been to Chinatowns. I've been to one, two, three, four. I've been to four of them. I've been to all the Mexican dominated areas. I've been to all the white dominated areas. I've been to the bottom of a fucking coal mine mountain. You know what I'm saying? Where it's dirt roads and the trucks got the right of ways and there's houses and stores down there. I've been to the top of a fucking mountain in fucking Kentucky with a fucking city at the top of the plateau. Uh, but for some reason, when you drop in on the west side of Chicago or some crazy shit like that, or drop into Compton or uh, you know what I'm saying, west side of Dayton, or you know what I'm saying, the old Ryan district, over the Ryan district down there in Cincinnati, or you know, uh, you know, it's a whole different feel. And I just say that to say that I've been around poor. I've been around. I've Lord have mercy. I've been around poor. I tell you what, I've seen poor to where you wouldn't. I've seen poor in this country. You know, and it's a different kind of poor than it is in these fucking cities.
The rural poor.
Man, but it's still a prideful fucking poor.
Yeah. But
You know what I'm saying?
there's a difference between being poor, and what's the word I'm looking for? Not and being deprived.
We have I classify our poor as poor, and we feel like we're owed something. So it's a imprisoning poor because you're waiting for to get what you're owed versus getting out here and get what you can have. And I think that that's the difference. You know, our community, we are so much waiting to get what we're owed. We're allowing opportunity just to fly right by us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, other communities, they're fucking on trying to get better because they're not old shit. I mean, come on, let's keep it 100. How many poor Mexicans you see in this country? None. You know what I'm saying? They fucking got their network on how they do and everything like that. And man, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you got me
I'll,
fucked
I'll,
up.
I'll tell you this. Even in my business, I ran across quite a few. I guess that's the right term, Mexican. That you know what I'm saying. Yeah, like you said, they have money, houses, property, to put up property on bonds and stuff like that to secure it and whatnot. Uh, they can come up with the full amount of what some of these bigger bonds be and stuff like that. And so I mean, just to contest what you're saying, like I've seen it in my profession as well. Now that don't make it always safe to mess with them, like what I'm
No,
saying.
you
Like
might.
I do,
No, that can't be
you,
going back to
you know, I
Mexico on.
I do, but exactly. That's always the worst fear. Is like what I'm saying, like you secure it the most you can and stuff and everything, but it's still like at the end of the day, and you know what, for real, this is probably gonna sound what they say racist, but you know what, it ain't even about going back to Mexico. Screw that.
They disappear here. They stick together.
Man, have you ever tried to find a Mexican in a city or
You ain't.
like the Napoleon? I remember looking for this one cat, man, Riviere. I'll never forget. This was one of my first hunts back in the day, and what it was is there was a bonds lady up in Toledo that he was skipping on her. And basically, it got to the point where she done threw so many resources at it and still ain't found in this guy that she was reaching across the state to different bondsmen's like, I need some good hunters and this, that. So anyway, at the time I was working for this cat named Joe back there, white guy, man. But, so he ended up getting a call from the insurance company like, hey, got you know, this job up here if you got anybody interested, blah, blah, blah. He's like, actually I got a hunter that be interested. He knew he had me. I was fresh out the gate. You remember? I was fresh out the gate. Like I
Yeah.
said, it was one of my first hunts. So so I was hungry. Like so, it's like, yeah, man. You interested in going up here by Napoleon, Ohio? Work with these other bondsmen and stuff. They hunting this guy. Blah blah blah. It's a Mexican guy. He kept saying it. It's a Mexican guy. Like, yeah, I run up here and shit. I drove up there in the middle of winter, cold as hell, and snow all over the damn place. But my point is, there's a lot of them, and they're very family oriented.
Right.
And if you understand what that means as a Negro, that's family origin. That means family stick together. I mean, thick or thin, blood, over water. So,
But they're
take that
like that.
good or
They're like
bad,
that.
but I mean that's the way it go. You
They
know what
like
I'm
that
saying?
as a whole, though. Just like the Africans that are over here. It's like they have a inner network. You know what I'm saying? The Asians, they have an inner network with each other.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
listen. As a bondsman, this for any other bondsmen that happen to hear me out there just getting in. Look, let me tell you something. You are not going to find a Mexican American who skips bond on you unless you have somebody in his family directly who wants to see him do the right thing. But thinking you just gonna track him down, run up on him, and all that shit, and you gonna be up like you do normal niggas and shit, it's like shit. Once I get close enough to your circle, it's over. I'm gonna get your routine down, and then it's just a matter of all right,
Right,
look,
waiting.
everybody lay their head down somewhere. Now I know your routine. Where you laying your head down? Who you like fucking this week? You know what I mean? But nah, them Mexicans, you got to spend a lot of time dealing with their family until you find somebody in the family who's gonna be like, you know what, dude, This is fucked up. I tell you, I call you in a few days. You ain't got much of a choice, but say, okay. And hopefully you get that call in a few days, you know what I mean? Or keep on working, keep on talking to folks, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, yeah, that I don't even know. I'm way off top. I don't remember what we was talking about. They very, very tight knit, and it, like I said, it ain't just about them just fleeing back to Mexico. I
No,
mean,
but see, that's
and
where
they got money. They got money. That's what
that's
it's about. They
that's
got
where we fall apart at because I mean, man, we won't do nothing with each other, and I mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I don't get it. It ain't like we don't have the money. I mean, whether it's investment money, um, what consumer money, we have the money. You know what I'm saying? But one, we have become at this point so integrated with the white side of this country at this point that we don't even know what it's like to live apart. Our success is based on trying to live with them. Think about it. First black family here, first black family there. Our success is based on
that's only been since our people been running behind these.
that's only what?
I said that's only been like that since our people been running behind these Democrats. That's only been for the last 56. That is not how Negroes lived in this country.
I said
Oh, I
the
might have
part
missed it if you said
I said the part that hurt is the integration. Us wanting to be a part of them. Excuse me, the forced integration.
yeah. This is all.
Anything with the word forced should be a fucking red flag. If you got to use the word if you got to use the word force on anything, you should be thinking twice before you do it. Think about it. Listen, uh, force fart usually means you shit on yourself. Force paying somebody, it means you ain't paying somebody else. Force your dick in, it means the pussy ain't ready yet. You know, forced integration, it means you're forcing something to happen. I mean, does
Well, look. Well,
any of
I
that
mean,
make any sense? And that,
but the thing is, and it's more of a trick because I mean, but we have to think that, and again, because whenever we talk about things of the history and stuff, I like to kind of keep things in context of timelines and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when we talking about what happened to us in those early 50s, 60s, all in the 70s and throughout, but if it, we was just coming off of another era too, though. Okay, remember, what was it? Over 120 plus. Let's say 120 plus black cities and towns burned and drowned. So we're coming off of an era of damn near devastation. They talking about the era of slavery that ended and stuff. And
you know why, don't you? Because separate but equal was working.
exactly. Well, listen. I don't like to look at things in the context and the narrative of history that they teach us. You know what I mean? I like to So with that said, I don't buy into the whole all of us came over here from ships and all that. I understand that these people took this land from some people. I also understand that it's impossible that they killed off all the people that were here. That's impossible. If that was if it was a possibility, they would have been did it in different parts of Africa as much as they claim to hate niggas. Show me a spot in Africa that is completely Caucasian.
No, there isn't none.
That
Not that's
they
completely
erased the
Caucasian.
whole population of niggas that was there. Like they just got rid of all of them. They found a way to miraculously kill them all. But we believe it with the Indians. We say, "Oh, the Indians, they were just so weak. They just came over here and complete genocide and killed them all." And
Made them all move out. Made
the
them all
ones that
move out to
survived,
Oklahoma.
they moved out there towards Oklahoma. But then when you go out to Oklahoma, you don't see number niggas. That's a different story.
Nothing but.
Nothing but. Nothing but niggas. You know what I'm saying? But we don't understand the simplicity of that. You know what I'm saying? Of not grasping the full weight of understanding the difference between being stolen or having something stolen from you. You know what I'm saying? We were not stolen from another land brought over here. We've had our land stolen from us. You know what I'm saying? It's like people be like, "Oh, well, you deny slavery, you deny Africa, you deny this," and it's like, you know what I'm saying? They like, "Oh, you must, what is it? You too ashamed." You too ashamed to have been stolen from another land or something like that. Nigga, you too ashamed to admit your shit was taken. Somebody came in here and snatched your shit,
Right.
nigga. And you don't want to talk about it, but yet you want to be raw with any other nigga around here that come and do anything half-ass near that shit. But you don't understand the concept that somebody done came in your shit and just took it. Then over generations, through educating you and the kids prior to you and your kids that you sending to them now, they educating you and telling you that this ain't even yours. That you don't have a home. If you did, you name me a place that claimed you. And don't tell me Ghana or some place that was set up by European American governments. Let's stop playing on.
That's why when we go over there, they don't recognize us because we ain't from there. We
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never heard of an African country coming out making the claim like yes, we were warring at a time, this and that, but we know that at least 70 families were taken, and we know that this is, no family names or nothing like that was taken over to Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like where's the history on the other side of the world that proves this? That they talk about? Because the ones that come over here and they talk about it, they barely know shit about it. They're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, you would think, I don't give a fuck how many millions and billions of motherfuckers might be on the continent itself. You would still think it's a pretty relevant story that some pale faced motherfuckers came into your land and caused so much havoc that then was disappearing, like tribes at a time were just disappearing and no longer existing or whatever, and was being taken to far place of land, far lands away and shit. That don't sound like something you would just like leave out. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, where is the outcry from many of them? Like, oh, America owe us. They still holding our people. So they owe us.
they gave
They
them all
owe us.
casinos. They gave them all casinos.
No. I ain't talking about the natives here. I'm talking about where's the African country that's coming out that is so anti-American because it knows that America's still holding on to its pride and joy.
There isn't none.
Like they so anti-American because they know these white folks done stole the prime jewels of their population. Because I mean, let's face it. Let's not act like we can't look around the world and act like the American Negro ain't the prime jewel of the fucking world when it comes to niggas.
Right.
We're not gonna pretend we ain't given the whole world culture.